screen work here? Oh, here you go. Hello, my name is Ahmed Abdelazim, founder and CEO of Sensible4. Sensible4 focuses on autonomy for heavy equipment machines. Let me start with the problem. There's 2.7 million loaders and trucks currently in operation globally. 620,000 new machines comes every year to the market or to the construction and mining industry. Less than 4,000 of these are currently running autonomously. Let's look at the construction and mining industry. There's a massive hiring needs with the labor shortage and high vacancy rates. Retirement crisis and all the new generations are actually interested in more in office jobs more than the dirty job in constructions. The existing autonomy solutions are either OEM locked or platform specific. So let's say if you have Scania, Sandvik, Caterpillar, you have to have a specific autonomy solution for each one of these. The autonomy deployment takes right now a couple months or even longer, and scalability is not even there. So you could see the numbers and you could figure out why the scalability is not there yet. Our solution is Dawn, is our universal autonomous driving kit that's able to fully automate any existing machine. So we go into construction or mining sites, the existing machine, do a retrofit, and run it autonomously. So we could increase 3 to 5x your productivity immediately. We have developed this software in Finland, and Finland, we know what extreme weather looks like. So our software works in extreme environment, like when there's heavy snowstorm, heavy rain, and rough terrain. Market is huge, and as you see in the previous slide, there's $70 billion and is growing at a very healthy rate. Look at the mining and the geopolitical when it comes to the rare earth metal, for example. We have already secured, or I would say, customer pipeline of 90 million of potential contract, and our software has driven over 100,000 kilometers in public road. We have 6 agreed pilot projects, and we have a strong interest from customers. I'm very proud of our team, myself and Yoni Margarita. So we have been selling these systems for the last 8 years, selling and deploying these systems. We know the customer pain point, we know what they're looking for, and we know where the bottleneck is. We sell hardware and software. So hardware is a one-time fee, and software is a SaaS business like everybody knows here. We're looking to generate 4.5 million euros of revenue in 26 and 27. We're looking for 700K at a 5 million euro valuation, and we hope you could help us and join us the round. We already secured half of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Time for questions.
It's too bright here.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for a great pitch. Could you please tell us more about the team and yourself?
Yeah, so myself, I have over 25 years experience in automation robotics. In the last for 8 years, I've been working specifically in autonomy for heavy equipment machines. So I work for Sandvik, for example. Yoni has been selling these systems. He is working for Sumitomo Corporation. So he has sold over tens of millions of euros for autonomy for heavy equipment machines. When we both decided to work on Sensible4, we saw the benefit, and we saw where things are going to be potentially happening. Our vision is to make autonomy scalable and fast deployable. Not 2 months, only 5 days.
Yep.
So how does a client sales cycle look like, and how does it take? How long does it take?
So an autonomy sales cycle is could take 6 to 12 months in general, and that's what we have witnessed. And we're looking to kind of change this, because when you go to a customer and tell them that, hey, we're going to deploy these machines, and we're going to make them autonomous, you don't have to have operators, we're going to take 2 months. Nobody wants that. So we already designed what we call universal retrofit kit, so that it could work for any machines, any vendor, and we could deploy this in 5 days.
Perfect, thank you.
One final question.
Maybe about competition. Who are your biggest competitors, and how are you superior to them?
Thank you. So we have a pretty fierce competition, I would say, in the US, like Bronto and Applied Intuition, for example. And we have several competition here in Europe, but it's not as aggressive. And when it comes to our uniqueness, I would say it's first in the software. our software has been, like I said, developed, rigorously tested in Finland in the most challenging environments. So that's kind of unique for Finland. But also our ability to deploy these systems fast, know the exact customer pain point. And that's what myself and Yoni has been addressing for the last couple of years.
All right, thank you. Round of applause. So let's welcome. You can.
Yeah.
Yep. Switch this. How is it called? Clicker.
Clicker.
Let's welcome on the stage BROSWARM as the next startup. Round of applause.
Good luck.
War is brutal. I think we all agree to that. But there's one brutal thing that is in the top, and is probably the most efficient weapon that started from World War I and continues to be very successful till this day in Ukraine. And that's not rockets or guns. That's landmines. And with that efficiency and vast amounts, we are creating a huge crisis right now. And it grows astronomically after each conflict. Thousands of people die each year, and that number will grow. Because Ukraine now is the most contaminated place on Earth. The modern war with drones, yeah? Where landmines are still very crucial. And this is our answer to the problem. This is humanity's best answer. Well, what can I say? 100-year-old technology. And there's nothing even close now. No technology, no startup that can change this. But we feel that we can. And we've been selected by NATO as the best breakthrough technology in this field. And we had to look in satellite technology. So we created the lightest synthetic aperture radar, specifically designed for drone use, not for satellites. We also had to reinvent ground-penetrating radar, where conventional GPRs are just worthless on a drone. And finally, we had to create our unique engine, reconstruction engine, imaging engine, that will change how we look things in the past and how we will look in the future. A totally new dimensional vision underground. And on the bottom is a fully buried plastic landmine, and we are the only sensor that can detect non-metal objects with such clarity. This is a huge business case, huge margin potential, also a patent potential, and unfortunately a very growing market size with no leading technology. It is a strong team from serial entrepreneurs with an exit to a world Olympic medalist in mathematics and in physics. Just under 2 years, we are creating some buzz. And imagine what this can do in post-disasters, in forensics, in rescue, finding bodies, etc., in archaeology, in infrastructure monitoring, even future robot vision, a true dual use case. We are now searching for and raising a seed round, and I will end with just a simple quote that true peace comes when the land is safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, BROSWARM. Jury?
Yeah, thanks for the pitch. Can you also illustrate where you stand with this? So what is the stage now?
So we are like lab rats, moving from a lab environment to world environment. So we are at the stage of probably from TRL 4 straight to TRL 6, somewhere in between of that. And we are having a lot of things to solve still yet, but we are going there.
And also, to follow up, you mentioned that you're the only one who can identify plastic. Is this, like, what's the difference, or why you're so much ahead, or why nobody's doing this so far? What's the secret?
I don't know, because it's very difficult to do. It is a very unique deep tech technology that no one even dares to touch it, or maybe some tried, but unsuccessfully. So there's a lot of things to solve. One of them, for example, we are very GPS dependent, and now GPS RTK accuracy is 1 centimeter. we need to have 5 millimeters of accuracy GPS just for our technology to work. And we had to reinvent GPS RTK even, and we did that actually. So there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of things to solve, deep technologies to solve.
Any more? Yeah.
Hi, I wanted to ask a bit about the business model and kind of how you plan to sell this, who you plan to sell this to. Could you kind of elaborate on that?
So a very short answer probably would be, obviously selling as a whole package, as a whole product. But we are not a drone company per se. We are a payload company, a new novel radar company, and our probably future potential is OM case, where we could sell our payload, partnership with local drone manufacturers, a very universal payload, attaching to any drone, any local drone, and that's probably our go-to-market case as well,
And that's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, who do we have? Who do we have next? Next up is Triton Depth. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, everyone. There it is. My name is Carl. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Triton Depth. We're a company building what's in some ways a bit of an overlooked domain, especially in the defense tech currently. Europe is blind. As you here in the Baltics know better than probably most, our infrastructure is extremely vulnerable. From 1 minute to another, a cable can be cut, and like that, you lose power, you lose connection. With the rise of these threats, we see how small units can cause enormous amounts of danger. That's why we're building the Seabed Sentinel. We're building it to not only give a protection layer to the navies, but also to smaller operators. With new regulations being taken into law currently, demanding that ports and infrastructure operators have risk assessments on their device, on their areas, they need a way of doing that. We provide this through a layer that you simply deploy. You deploy them within 1 kilometer of each other, and they set up their own mesh network so that they can collect the acoustic signatures around them. They can then detect it on the edge, classify if it's a threat or not, and relay this information into the operational centers. We're taking the approach of some of the USVs and UAVs of having smaller sensors that can detect these types of things, but we're doing it in a persistent way, whereas USVs only really work where they are. We're then doing it at a fraction of the price compared to some of the legacy solutions that are currently being taken into consideration for more military purchases. We're scaling through testing with some of the Danish ports and are planning to expand beyond Denmark just this year. From here, we'll then expand into the 500 entities that share the exact same regulations of these risk assessments and have the exact same issues. Every time we deploy a sensor, we not only get some money from the ports and infrastructure, we also get data. We get data from offshore that allows us this deep ocean acoustics. We get data from the navies on rare class data, and we get the data from the ports in cluttered environments. All this data is then combined into the Triton intelligence layer, where we can provide extra insights and provide higher margin business. We're validated by government agencies, proving this threat level is incredible, as well as the end users in Denmark. We're 3 engineering students from Denmark tackling this issue together. We've worked in autonomous systems as well as defense use cases across Denmark. And we're raising a pre-seed round here at the end of our testing, close to the summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Good pitch. Time for questions. Yeah.
Thank you for an interesting pitch. What's your main customer, and how would a rollout of your system actually work?
Thank you. So what we do is that we target the smaller sort of ports. In the entire context, they're pretty big still, but compared to military budgets, they don't have the same options. We do a much smaller unit, and then they deploy, say, 8 to 12 units around their perimeters, and from there we scale it. We do it through testing in the beginning, now that we don't have much backing, but then from there it'll be a direct-to-business or direct-to-government sales.
How did you identify the demand for your product, taking into consideration there are already existing products in the market that kind of solve the same thing?
I'm not sure I heard the first part of you. How did you find
How did you identify that there is a demand for your product specifically, taking into consideration there are already similar products?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. There are systems like the chart showed that do cover some of this. Unfortunately, they're too expensive. We had the initial thought that how can these sort of incidents keep happening with cables being cut? And we then went straight to the cable operators and told them, well, what's going on? And they said it's simply a budget issue.
And they said that's a pain point for them, and they need such a product.
Yeah, of course, it's a pain point once the cables get cut, but it's even more of a pain point that they're standing afterwards and really have nothing to do about it.
Thank you.
One question more?
Could you elaborate a bit on the team? So what did you do beforehand and how did you set up?
Yeah, so we founded a drone club at DTU and worked together for that about 2 years in various autonomous systems, mostly in flying drones. My two co-founders have experience from designing energy systems on the windmills, a large industry in Denmark, and my co-founder Marcus has experience in designing electrical systems for a radio manufacturer in Denmark. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Let's give a round of applause. And next up is FPV Battleground. Welcome on stage.
Hello, my name is Nick and warm greetings from Kiev. This drone in my hands costs around $500, and it's gone on the first real mission. It's gone not because the pilots cannot fly. It's gone because the pilots are never trained against the electronic warfare, signal jamming on the video loss. We built FPV Battleground. This is the simulator which train the thing that no one else trained. We train decisions under the pressure. So not the stick skills, but signal jamming, video breakup, battery drop, combat target approach with the real missions and the big landscapes. Our competitors are training hands. We train in the brain. We started from the B2C market just to validate our product and to get the physics right. And right now we have more than 8,000 paid users across the 80+ countries around the world, which generate for us $82,000 in ARR. And all this is without any penny spent on the marketing. Pilots who is using our product are saving in an average from 3 to 5 real drones until their first combat sortie. And in money equivalent is $2,500 per operator. Right now we have signed contract with the largest Ukrainian FPV school called Kill House Academy, which is related to the Third Army. And we have signed 5 memorandums with the largest Ukrainian brigades, which allows us to get the real-time feedback from the battleground about the pilots' decisions, what they are making using our software. Each training session is capturing all decisions that pilots is making, and we are analyzing this data, and we know when the pilots are failing. It gives us a possibility to build a data set which doesn't exist anywhere in the world. And every country with a drone program is our customer. So Ukraine proven the doctrine, and I think that the world will adopt it. This is our team. Our team included the former FPV pilots, the existing FPV pilots, the former assault soldier, and the cool engineers with a lot of experience in development, especially in the math and the physics. Right now, we are raising for the 500K for the scale our B2C engine, and of course, to convert our signed memorandums into the institutional contract and open for us the B2G market to bring our technology to that. Today, we are a combat simulator, but tomorrow, we will be the data backbone for the autonomous drones. Thanks.
Like, cheers, cheers.
Thank you, FPV Battleground. Okay, jury?
Yeah, I can start. Thanks a lot. A bit kind of general question. So it seems you have figured out the basics and you picked up the initial traction. So what's the biggest issue or bottleneck at the moment? Is it just funding or?
Honestly, funding is not the biggest issue because we have the source of funds from our other businesses. But the main thing for us, we want to extend outside of the Ukraine and want to bring our technology to the rest of the countries. Because the drones has become more and more like topic number one, unfortunately, in our world right now.
And how does it look like going outside of the Ukraine? So what countries are you targeting, or where do you go from there?
I think that all countries which have the drone program. Right now, it's more than 40.
Okay.
Do we have more? Yep,
Yeah.
go on.
How does like a normal ICP look like? Who are you heading to when you are selling the product?
When we began, it was the volunteer product for our friends who is on the front line, especially half of our company was also on the front line and the drone pilots. So we developed and delivered very fast builds, and we get the instant feedback daily. And right now we have integrated a lot of metrics and build our own system for data analysis. So we are grabbing the whole information that we can grab during the training session, and then we are analyzing it from the failure perspective, and we are giving the hints how to better to. So the feedback, it's split into the two. We have a B2C version. It's just for evaluation of our product, how to understand the valuable. And we have right now that, as I mentioned, more than 8,000 of customers. And the second one is the military part. Military part is always like a direct connections.
Thank you. That's
Thanks.
a wrap.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we are almost there. But we have one more potential unicorn ready to pitch for you guys tonight. So please, welcome to the stage, Wield VR.
Hi, I'm Timo, founder of Wield VR. And this is what weapon simulation used to look like. A different gun for every use case. Very heavy and quite expensive. Until I invented this, the One-Stalk. One modular shape-shifting device. Today, 50 million people own VR headsets. And every time they pick up a virtual weapon, they're holding a plastic toy. This changes that. Your controllers plug in here, giving you the realistic feeling, any size, any shape, on the fly. In 2 years, we have 2 million in revenue, with 60% fully loaded gross margins. 12,000 units sold. December, our best month, 270K. All of this from a single Shopify store. Amazon alone is projected to add double our revenue. But the gun stock market is proof of market and execution. It's not the destination. Premature drop. The VR accessories market is fragmented. Every product is standalone. Rifles, pistols, golf clubs, sports handles, comfort grips, all dead ends. We are building a magnetic ecosystem that connects them all. The MagSafe for VR. $130 million market. And we have our main competitors' exact playbooks. We know precisely how to win this market and why they can't. They also copied our design, and our patent is about to be granted. Our users are demanding next-generation products. The most requested, haptic feedback, to feel your firearm kick. Our electronics are already functional. This opens dramatically larger opportunities. It takes us beyond gaming into the $686 million dry fire training market, where we have hardware plus a subscription model. We add haptic recoil and modular frames that our competitors don't have. A civilian shooter saves $784 in ammo costs every month with a $19 subscription. And every shot gives them data to improve their skills, giving them a reason to come back for more. Our conservative models give us 11.6 million years in year 2 after launch. Almost half of it is recurring. The competition only does parts of what we do. Our next development is led by Andy, who has 14 years of defense electronics experience at Lockheed Martin, with Business Finland co-investing into the R&D. We're seeking for investors who can help us with productization and speed to market. We're raising a late seed round of 1.7 million. This unlocks 1.5 million total additional funding from Business Finland for a total package of 3.2 million that adds crowdfunding and grants possibility. There is no category leader in VR accessories. We intend to be. Thank you. I'm Timo from Wield VR.
Sorry, the time is up. All right, time for questions. Yep.
Hey, thanks for the pitch. So can you just, so I'm 100% sure, who is the ICP first question? And second one is, so you don't need any specific software or anything, so you just implement this to the stick and you can use it.
Just to clarify, are you talking about the consumer gaming persona or the civilian?
Okay, so you operate with both?
Yeah, yeah. So essentially, we developed the haptics in a modular form factor so that they can be deployed to both markets. And also, any weapon frames we deploy into the aim training market, they can be sold to hardcore gamers in the consumer market.
Okay, thanks.
My question would be, what was the motivation behind building it? And how did you create this product? What is the story behind it?
Well, I'm a passionate gamer ever since I was like 3 years old, and I got into simulations in a very young age. And when virtual reality launched a little bit over 10 years ago, I was among the first ones. I had a headset for simulator use even before they were commercially available. It was like a Kickstarter thing. And then when I got my hands on the motion controllers, I realized like there are so many problems that are unsolved, let's say in sports simulations or firearm simulation, or there are so many applications, and we still don't have a market leader in this space.
Can I have a follow-on question? Or
yeah.
You can. All right. So how do you produce one of these products? Because I have already seen a few similar to this, but how does this differentiate?
Okay, so our product is simplified to the max, and we only put in what elevates the immersion of the experience. Our product is injection molded with internal tooling, and yes, some Chinese competitors have copied it, but our patent is about to be granted, so it will backfire for them later.
And that is it with the time. Thank you so much, Timo.